My ex said, I need someone more adventurous who travels the world. I said fair enough and booked a solo trip around Europe. His jaw dropped when I posted wedding photos from Paris with the tour guide I'd fallen in love with. Tyler and I had been together for 3 years when he dropped this bomb on me. We were sitting in his car outside Target after buying toilet paper and laundry detergent, and he just blurted it out. Emma, I need someone who's willing to see the world with me. You're too comfortable staying home. I stared at him, holding a pack of Charmin in my lap, thinking about how he'd never even wanted to drive 2 hours to visit my sister. The thing is, I'd suggested trips before. I'd shown him cheap flights to Iceland, talked about backpacking through Thailand, even offered to split the cost of a long weekend in Montreal. But every time he'd complain about spending money or taking time off work. Yet somehow, I was the one holding him back from his adventurous dreams. So I just nodded and said, you're probably right. We should break up then. He looked shocked, like he expected me to beg or promise to change. Instead, I got out of his car, grabbed my toilet paper, and walked to my Honda without looking back. That same night, I opened my laptop and did something completely insane. I booked a 3-week solo trip through Europe using the money I'd been saving for our joint vacation fund. Paris, Rome, Barcelona, Amsterdam, the whole works. My flight left in 10 days, and I'd never traveled alone before in my life. Tyler kept texting me all week, asking if I was really going through with this dramatic stunt. He said I was being ridiculous and that I'd probably get lost or robbed within the first hour. His final message before I left was, you'll be back home crying within a week, and I might not take you back. I screenshotted that text and posted it on my Instagram story with laughing emojis. My first stop was Paris, and honestly, I was terrified. I could barely order coffee in French without stuttering. That's when I met Marco during a walking tour of Montmartre. He was the tour guide, this Italian guy with curly hair and paint under his fingernails who spoke 4 languages and knew every hidden cafe in the city. He made terrible jokes about French cheese and helped me pronounce bonjour without sounding like I was clearing my throat. After the tour, he asked if I wanted to grab dinner at this tiny bistro that wasn't in any guidebooks. We ended up talking until 2 a.m. about books, travel horror stories, and why he'd left his corporate job in Milan to become a tour guide. He was everything Tyler wasn't: spontaneous, curious, genuinely interested in experiencing new things instead of just talking about them. The next day, Marco offered to show me his favorite hidden spots in Paris during his day off. We climbed to the top of random buildings, found street art in forgotten alleys, and shared a bottle of wine on the steps of Sacré-Cœur while watching the sunset. I felt more alive in that one day than I had in months with Tyler. By the end of the week, I'd completely fallen for this guy who carried a sketchbook everywhere and could make me laugh in 3 different languages. When it was time to leave Paris, Marco asked if he could visit me during his vacation time. Instead, I asked him to show me more of Europe. So we spent the next 2 weeks traveling together, him taking time off between tours, me extending my trip with money I didn't even know I had. 3 weeks later, we were back in Paris at this tiny chapel near his apartment. His mom had flown in from Italy, my sister had somehow gotten a last-minute flight, and we were getting married with about 12 people total. It was the most impulsive thing I'd ever done, and it felt perfect. I posted the wedding photos on Facebook with the caption, "Found someone who doesn't just talk about adventure." Within an hour, Tyler was blowing up my phone. "This is insane, Emma. You married some random guy you met on vacation? You've lost your mind. This won't last 6 months." I showed Marco the messages while we were eating croissants in our hotel room the next morning. He just laughed and said in his broken English, "Tell him you found someone who actually has a passport." So I did exactly that. Tyler's response came back immediately. "I have a passport. I just never found anyone worth traveling with." I replied, "Weird, because I found someone worth marrying in the first city I visited."